I got
Okay, we're live right now.
awesome.
So,
Hi.
hi. Hi everyone. My name is Sean from 8-Bit Shinobi, and we have a very special, legendary guest, Stephanie Nadolny from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Hard to say, hard to spell. I'm sorry. Stephanie Nadolny. You did good.
Yeah. And we got little Gohan here.
Oh, the pop toys are so fun. Little training outfit.
I even got
Awesome.
the
I've got some
Shenron
stuff
here.
here too. I've got my little Goku with the power pull. Power pull extend.
And I got the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and then here's I love that. I have one of those too. I don't know what to do with it. But and then I've got my Goku.
Oh, and
Yeah.
this thing actually reads power levels.
Yeah, I love that. That's from like the Ginyu Saga, right? I think Dragon Ball Z
Yeah,
Ginyu Saga. That's
yeah.
what I remember. That's when I was first cast as Gohan. Was the Ginyu Saga like around episode 54?
Yeah,
Long
that
time
was
ago.
actually when I first started watching. I remember my cousins like, "Yeah, check out this show," and then I'm like, "Okay." And then that was when I actually started getting into it because I think I caught bits and pieces of it, but I never watched a full episode. When my cousins like, "Come watch a show," and
Oh
then
yeah,
we just grew up watching it. And then I
yeah.
remember later on, I would my dad wouldn't let us watch TV. We had the satellite. So we would get the broadcast from the other coast. So I would watch it in the morning when people were watching it in the evening here.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see you got it on in the background there. Which
Yeah, I have the
Cell Saga?
yeah, the Cell Saga.
Great. This fight is meaningless. Ah! Tough Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me what got you into voicing?
I was voicing as a kid for fun with a little tape recorder, little cassette recorder when I was really little, and I was just really like en enthralled and captivated by voices and sounds and singing as well. I started out enjoying music at a very, very young age. My parents were both into music, so I started realizing at a very young age that I definitely wanted to use my voice and I was definitely into singing. And thank God I was able to make a career out of it. And then the voice acting actually career part of it came later, based on kind of who I met working in the studio with some backing tracks with Brave Combo. And I joined a band. I did anything from drill team to plays, musicals, community theater, talent shows. I was a dancer. I took baton for a while, ballet, tap. I was into anything that was a performance related deal.
Oh, that's
And
cool. You got the whole experience going on there.
yeah, singing, dancing, acting. I loved musicals, loved singing, doing all of those things, and just grew up just thankfully able to engage in all that kind of stuff. I wanted to actually be kind of a child star if I was able to do so. I wanted to go to California and New York at a young age and really embrace a career as a young child. But mom and my stepdad were like, nope, nope. And we were just kids, and it's like you need to grow up as normal as you can if that's possible. And then later on, I got into kind of when I went to college, I was able to bust off and kind of do my own thing. And then I joined a show band and ended up traveling around the United States and parts of Europe. And that was going to be just a couple of years, and I was going to go back to college and was majoring in drama, and that didn't happen. I got obsessed with the career and the music and the singing and the traveling and the costumes and the whole dynamic. And then from there, I ended up doing comedic parodies and jingles and some things around the Dallas Fort Worth area. And then the way I got into the voice acting career was I was singing backups for a project for Funimation called Cyborgs, and I was singing like the Battlestar Galactica background, like Cyborgs, like this really cool science fiction sounding voice. And at that session, I met the Barry Watson, who was actually recording the show in Canada. And so we exchanged information. He asked if I did voiceovers, and I said I hadn't really done it as a career, but I had been doing voices as a kid, and I did some things for Chuck E. Cheese pizza. And from there, it was history. It was like he called and said, "We're having auditions. We want you to come out." And I came out to the audition thinking, well, I'm on audition for the female roles. I had no idea what anime was. I had no idea really what I was getting into, but this became this crazy thing. And they asked me to do voices for, voice of a little kid, and they liked what they heard. And I got cast as Kid Gohan. And from there, they got more properties and started producing more shows, and everything just kind of grew and grew. And then they got the Dragon Ball property, and they cast me as Goku. Then I got East Kai and Baby Trunks, and then I did background vocals and background. I did some animation themes where I sang the opening and closing for Kitty Grade. I did some I said Case Closed. I did a theme for that, as well as Sayonara Bye Bye for Yu Yu Hakusho. So I was able to actually use my singing talents with some of the anime as well. And that was a real
nice. So you pretty much almost did like everything. Like I remember growing up with all that.
Yeah, I did a little bit of producing too. I'd like to get kind of back into that. I think, especially with young people, and I love kids, and I think I could maybe get behind and produce. I don't know. I feel like I could kind of like, after having been, after doing it, I think I could really get the best out of talent. That, I don't know. It's something that I'd like to do. It's on my bucket list. So that's kind of how it all happened. It's like who you know, and being in the right place at the right time, being close to a big city helped. I moved around growing up, and I was in little small towns most of my life. And that was tough, getting bullied and being new and stuff. But I was still able to pursue my dream. And when your passion is your passion, your heart just seeks out what it wants. So yeah, I'm very, very
I grew up in a small town too.
Oh yeah.
It's called, Castleman. It's like all forest and farmland. So my whole backyard was like a forest. So like where Goku grew up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Out in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the small towns around Dallas back when I moved, I was in high school, it was late 80s, and there was a lot that's really grown around here. Like some of the small cities, like all the cities are kind of all like city to city now. It's just grown like crazy, especially over the past 20 years. It's nuts. So yeah, that's kind of how it all happened. But yeah, and then now it's great because you can kind of put me anywhere, and I can make friends with anyone, and I can just, you know, fit right in, I don't know a stranger. That's why this COVID thing is so hard. I mean, I just love people. And so it's been hard. You have to be social distance. You can't hug people. The cons in person. I can't hold the babies. I can't shake hands. I can't, you want that connection,
Yeah, I know that my little one is having so much trouble because she is a big hugger, and she'll like run up and hug someone. We took her to our first con, and she ran up and hugged a guy dressed in a Deadpool costume.
Oh, see, they just love. Little kids are just pure love. They don't know. They just want to hug and love on everybody. They're like little monkeys. It's like, hug me,
Yeah, she kind of into Dragon Ball Z. She knows that I've taught her the Kamehameha, so
Oh,
likes to do that. She was like, I'm like, okay, let's play.
That's adorable. I love that. I have a soft spot for children.
She's so bright. I have my pinball machine here, and like I didn't even tell her. She just comes down, brings her stool, climbs up, and starts playing. I'm like, what?
Wow, yeah, they're smart. They're smarter than you think.
So what was your favorite episode to voice? Do you have one?
As far as the episode number, I wouldn't know offhand, but I did enjoy voicing Kid Goku in Dragon Ball when he was like really young, really little. I really enjoyed that because he was just so innocent and young and he was so funny. And him training with Master Roshi and little kid Krillin. I just thought that was just some of the funniest stuff I've done, and mostly the Dragon Ball. I just enjoy comedy in general. I love to laugh, and I love to make people laugh, and I was able to live vicariously through this little boy that I would never be. So I enjoyed that the most. And then I also enjoyed the Cell Saga with Gohan when he becomes Super Saiyan and like really gets tough and finally unleashes all this power that he really didn't even know he had. And I could kind of relate to that character with, moving around all my life and then just like holding everything in and just wanting to fit in and try to find who you are. And you're just like uprooted and you're just trying to get through life and survive. And then all of a sudden it's like, he just unleashes everything. He just like something just snaps and he's just like, okay, I've had it. Right. So I think I can relate to that. A lot of people probably can.
Yeah, I
So,
like how he also he grows. He starts from being afraid, and then he's taken on Cell.
right. Yeah. And then for him to get that tough and then just, and how you just be just ripped, and just like so powerful and him protecting his friends and Goku's like talking telepathically through his ear and he's like, you could do this, you got to do it. And they're all cheering him on. And then he finally just goes completely ballistic on Cell. So, and that's good, because that's kind of a good versus evil type of thing, light versus dark. And that's like a whole, like, I don't know, spiritual concept for me personally, with the cosmos and being a bright light. And, even though there's light and dark in the world, and it's like, you know, and finding like your light and then shining it on others and being a positive influence on the world and giving to others and helping kids that have grown up and been through personal experiences, and when they come to me to the cons or they talk to me or they write to me on my fan mail, it's really touching to realize that I'm not just voicing a character, that these fans and friends of mine that have grown up watching the show have really identified with these characters, and a lot of them have been through a lot, whether it be bullying or suicide or addiction or just hard times in their life. And to know that somehow I touch them in a positive way through my voice acting through these characters is like a crazy bonus for what I do. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
it's that is just amazing. Like I remember, like when I went through bad breakups, I just
Yeah.
binged watched Dragon Ball Z.
Right. And then you just get lost and immersed in it. You get lost in it and you just break away from real life and just take away what good you can from what you're seeing and what you're hearing and learn from it, apply it to your life. If it's something that can help you through hard times, then that's awesome. That's great. And we all have heroes. We all have icons that we, you know, grow up fascinated by for whatever reason. For me it was Donna Summer. She's a disco queen, music and different, I don't know, TV shows. And we all have favorite, heroes or actors and actresses or celebrities or people that have inspired them or propelled them into some kind of really cool existence here. So, yeah.
So, if you could gather all seven Dragon Balls, what would you wish for?
Oh, what a great question. How fun. Oh my gosh, I wanna say world peace, right? We all say, "Let's just have peace. Can't we all just get along?" Um, what I'd wish, wow, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. My first inclination is to say it. I'd wanna have my mom back. I lost her young. She had an untimely death at 50, only 51 back in 1999. I had just gotten cast as Gohan, so
Mhm.
we were able to talk about that, and as she was kind of battling her, cancer and, needed a bone marrow transplant, and she was in and out of the hospital with chemo, and then suddenly, boom, she was gone. Everything just went downhill. She had no immune system, and pneumonia got her at the hospital, and she was supposed to be released that day, and she was doing really well. So everybody was completely shaken, and she was so young, and I was just mid 20s, and so I'd want to have my mom back, or at least be able to sit down and talk with her, and you know, record all of her life stories and write everything down, videotape everything, and so that we could have this legend of my mother, back in my life. So that's kind of my first thing that just pops because she was just such a huge part of my life. And she was always my oasis when everything was going wrong or bad. She was my biggest cheerleader, my best friend. Life was hard going through her and my dad split when I was very young. And then there was this whole step family on both sides. And it was just, and then moving around and being uprooted and having no real solid ground. So then losing her, boom, it was just, whoa, just crazy, crazy, horrible, tumultuous time. So yeah, and my brother was just about to have his first little girl, and she had passed before that, and so it was just a really, really rough time. I just want to be with my mom again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty noble wish. I think I would make the same wish. I just lost my grandmother a year ago, so
Oh, it's so hard.
I know the feeling.
Um,
It's really hard.
Yeah, I'm a big family person too, and I've lost a lot of my family much younger than we all expected. So that's hard because you want to share times with them. I wanted to travel with my mom. I wanted to go see the world with her. I wanted to take care of her when she got older and her watch my brother's kids grow up, and she wanted to be a grandma so bad. And yeah, so family's a big deal. Like that's a big part of who I am. Yeah. So that's probably what I would want to do.
Great. So Logan Chitwood says
Hey,
hi.
Logan. I didn't know if I could how to post this. I guess we can do after the fact, but I know some fans and friends were wanting to know how they could jump on and watch it somehow. So
Did you want me to send you the link again? I could send you the actual YouTube link.
sure, that's fine. Or after
Okay.
the fact, whatever. If you say that it can be played on YouTube, that's awesome. So the fans can just jump on it.
I can accommodate. All right.
Yeah, because I
So
think sending me into the room here to talk is a different link, I suppose.
yeah, that's the link that'll bring them to the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, great. I see that now. Okay, I don't know. It's not really here to talk is a different link, I suppose. Oh no, I don't want to interrupt. Okay. Trying to
So
turn it down. Okay. It's okay. We'll figure this all out at some point. It's all technical
I'm
stuff.
still learning this too. Like I just started streaming because I'm like I started getting like a fan base, so
Right.
I want to try to use like my hero Goku and Gohan. I want to
Uh-huh.
use my power for good. So I started interviewing people on the channel.
I think that's awesome. And we have a lot to talk about too about the upcoming event that you've got going on, the virtual con.
And, yeah. And there's Sandra. Hey,
Oh,
sweetie.
Sandra was one of my moms. Speaking of my mother, she worked with my mother back when they were like 20 and 21 years old at a bank in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. So I've been able to keep in touch with her, and I've met her in person years ago. And yeah, that's my friend Sandra. I love that. She worked with my dad and my mom when they were super young, like right when they got married and had my brother. And then I came along. Like they were like probably your age. You look like you're about that age now. Right?
Yeah, I kind of have that DNA, that Caribbean DNA where I look younger than I actually do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a beard. My wife says I can't shave it because then I look younger than her.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know. I like that though. Facial hair is really in right now, right? It's like, yeah. So it's awesome.
Oh, and by the way, I love your accent. Like in
Ah,
Canada, we don't really have those accents unless you're like French Canadian. My dad has
okay.
the ability to turn his accent on and off. I don't know how he does that.
Okay.
He has
Yeah,
like
I
a
didn't even
deep
know I had an
Canadian.
accent. I mean, I was in Memphis, Tennessee, the deep South, and as a young child, so my accent was, over the top. And then we ended up in Houston, Texas, Spring, Texas. And then when my mom split and then remarried later, my stepdad was transferred every 2 to 3 years. So then we went from the Houston Spring area to Eagle Pass, Texas, and the border of Mexico. And then I started picking up on the accent as, kids really pick up on the accents and things like that from what they're around. And with me being so into voices and mimicking and recording, and I found myself I was a minority. All my friends were Mexican American. So I picked up on the accent of being Mexican American. And so I would like, come home. Mom, can I go out to play? My friends want to come, my friends want to come out to play. And so I just started naturally talking like that. That's what my friends sounded like, right? And then we moved to Durant, Oklahoma, and then it was kind of still a little bit southern. And then 2, 3 years later, Coffeyville, Kansas. And that kind of neutralized my accent from as far as being like a deep South Texan, like how y'all doing? You want gravy on those taters? I don't really have that really strong Texas accent. I mean, I can definitely turn it on if I needed to, right? But
Mhm.
I feel like I don't really have an accent. I mean, in general, because it's been kind of neutralized, especially when I lived in Kansas, because everything was just kind of Midwestern. And then now I'm back in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so I'm back in the deep South. But I don't know. I guess for you, it does maybe it does sound like there's an accent, but to me,
Yeah, like I said, we don't really have that accent. So when I
yeah,
hear it, I'm like, you know, like how something foreign sounds
yes,
appealing to you,
right.
but
And
like
sometimes you can
everyone else
tell,
is normalized.
like you're from, you from up north, or what's going on here, you can kind of tell, that there's Brooklyn, there's a New Orleans accent, there's down on the Bayou accent, there's I pay attention to that just naturally having that ear to like really listen for sounds and music and things like that. So yeah.
So voicing Goku and Gohan, what were some of the different steps that you did to prepare yourselves for each character?
Well, it started out, like I said, I got cast as Kid Gohan in the Ginyu Saga. So he was right about 7 or 8 years old, I think, something like that. And so when I was directed, I basically just came up with whatever little kid voice I could come up with. And then that's when we kind of like the first couple of times I came in to record for the episodes, that's when we really defined, okay, what's this character going to sound like? And the direction actually, they wanted me to be raspy. I know I get some feedback, some of the fans are like, why is she sounding so raspy? She's supposed to be a little kid or whatever. But that's how they've directed me. They directed me specifically to be raspy like this, Mr. Piccolo, you know, and that's, and so when we developed that character and came back in for future episodes, sometimes it'd be a few weeks, sometimes a few months based on line count and deadlines. If I had trouble early on going back to where that voice is, they would play my pre-roll from the last time I'd come in. And that's when I would, being a mimic, I was able to mimic myself through what I heard through my headphones. And that's when we would define the voice. And then once I came in, 3-4 times, I knew exactly kind of where to go in the voice. And if you ever got off voice, I would either catch it right away or the director would say, oh, it's a little off voice. And then we would just redo the line, get back into character and move on. And then from there, when I was cast as Goku in Dragon Ball, basically being that Gohan and Goku are related, Gohan's Goku's son, we basically used my voice and then we raised it, lost a bunch of the rasp and just had a higher pitched sound, little boy sound. And then through the acting and through the lines, that's when we defined how based on the lines and the character, how the lines were delivered and how they sounded was what differentiated the two voices. So I was able to kind of be more like, yay, flying Nimbus. He's up here, whereas Gohan's more like this, like Mr. Piccolo or, but dad, a lot of that reaction stuff. They called me the reactress because I would come up with these, because I had to do a lot of reactions. Gohan was at that age was kind of in the background a lot. He didn't always say a whole lot. I mean, he did from time to time, but he was kind of in the background watching the activity and what was going on and learning from that. And then that's kind of, the shock and awe exertions were what I really, for some reason, they came naturally for me, whoa, stuff like that. Just, I don't know, just came naturally. And I was always really careful to make them all sound different and unique, like completely different. So it didn't sound like the same every time. He's like, you don't want him to sound the same. Every time he, makes a sound, you want him to sound different and get into the scene and do some really good acting through the voice, So yeah. So that's how I kind of learned how to differentiate. And then when East Kai came along, that was kind of a chance thing, kind of random. They had already had an idea, the directors at the time had already had an idea who they were going to cast as East Kai. And East Kai's really only in six episodes, maybe more, maybe a little bit more than that. But the director was like, yeah, they showed me a picture of what East Kai looked like. And they just said, what do you think she would sound like? And so I just read a few lines and it was just like, I'm the queen and the queen shall win the gold. And it was just this wacky, over the top, insane woman voice. And she rode around on a scooter and she was just really crazy. And they cast me as East Kai. And that was just crazy random. And I think it's also because it was such a unique, crazy, over the top voice sound and nothing like Goku or Gohan. And so that was just kind of like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then Baby Trunks came after that. This little baby voice, cooing and laughing and things like that. And then I did a lot of walla. They call it walla where you're in the background and then they just layer all these voices. Sometimes you do it by yourself, or so you get into the booth with like 4 or 5 other people, and then you're like the townspeople, like, oh, what's going on? Whoa, what's that? What's that? Or women screaming, ah, babies crying and just background stuff. I was able to do a lot of that and utilize some of my different voices with that too. And this company and everything was so much smaller then. They were utilizing a lot of the same actors for a lot of different roles, even background stuff. So villagers, and I think I played a little old lady one time, and she was like, "Oh yeah, she sounded like my Aunt Manya up in Rhode Island." So I would channel like some of my family members, like because that's what I had heard my whole life, and I would just you know throw something out there with mimic somebody I'd heard before or some unique sound, and then just tweak it based on what the direction was. So yeah, pretty cool.
We have a question from. I'm surprised they didn't have you voice Goten too.
Yeah,
If
they had
you
me. Oh, sorry. You can go ahead. If you did,
if you
what,
did, what would your Goten sound like?
that's the thing is I had voiced Kid Gohan and I kissed voice. I had voiced Goku, and those were my two main, really strong. That was the range there was the most I'd ever done before, and so when I tried a Goten, yeah, they ended up that my audition sounded a little too much like either young Gohan or Kid Goku, and I think they wanted somebody to sound more unique. And Funimation, and I think the English dubs, the direction, and the directors, they really wanted to have the voices sound unique. Like they wanted them to be much more unique and different than they did in Japan, because I mean I don't know, a lot of the fans realize that in Japan, I can't say her name, the voice actress that she actually did Kid Goku, Kid Gohan, Teen Goten, and all the way up through adult Gohan and adult Goku. She did all of them. Masiko Nawada, I think. I can't say her name. I'm so embarrassed. But
I'm there too. I think I need to take my nerd
I
card off.
almost met her. I ended up getting sick and couldn't go to Australia a few years back, and I was supposed to be a guest with her, and I wanted to meet her so bad. But they used her voice, and and it was the voices for all those characters were very similar. Were very, very similar. And I think, gosh, she's 80 something now, and I think she's still voicing character. I think that's what I've heard. It's crazy. But yeah, so my Goten I think would have sounded a little bit too much like Goku or Gohan as a kid. And to make it sound really unique, I think they decided to go with a different actress. Kara Edwards, I believe, voiced Goten, and Videl. Boy and a girl.
So, what was the difference between voicing your character on the anime versus the video games? Because I know you did some video game work.
I
For the,
did. I did. The difference is like when you do a video game, I mean you're voicing it in that character's voice, but there is some time constraints because they're trying to fit these sounds and the whatever you're coming up with to fit into certain parts that get placed in the video game, so that when somebody's actually playing the video game, these sounds occur or this dialogue occurs. So it wasn't that much difference as far as the voice acting itself. It was just a matter of taking really intricate focused direction on the length of the phrases and the exertions. And we would do rapid fire ones when we would record, so the recording process was a little different, and I would actually mimic the director, and that didn't bother me, like whoever was directing would be like, okay, do and I'd be in my voice, like, and I would literally like mimic what I heard, and that would help me with the timing, and that would, for efficiency's sake, that's what I ended up doing, is I would just follow along and then just utilize that voice, and then they would record it and place it where it needed to go in the video game. So I haven't played any of the video games though. I never got in any of the gaming cartridges or whatever the gaming systems. I never ended up I know some of my fans would tell me about it, or they would send me like a clip of them playing it, and it's pretty cool. We did one for Atari uh back in the day.
Oh, I
And
remember that.
yeah, Tenchaiki or Budokai, I think something like that. PlayStation. So it's just a little bit different process is all.
But we have another one. Hey Stephanie, if you had a chance to voice any of the other Dragon Ball Super characters, who would you like to try?
Oh, Dragon Ball Super. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not working really at Funimation much, really. So I'm not familiar at all with any of the character. I mean, I've seen some at some of the conventions, the recent conventions, Beerus and a few of the others. And I think I did audition for one of the gosh, I don't even know the name of the character, Zeron or oh gosh, it was so long ago. But I can't really answer that because I'm not familiar with the show and that and Dragon Ball Z Kai, I was not part of that. A lot of us were recast um for whatever reason. So I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
So, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite convention, or are they all kind of the same? What's
Oh,
you?
they're all different. No, I love them all. I love them all. Small, big, large, busy, not busy. That gets me out in the trenches face to face with the fans, and that's the best part of what I do. I love to hear the stories about how they grew up with the show, and it's really given me a lot of purpose. It's like, when you kind of like lose your way in your life and you're going through all these things and you get distracted and to really be face to face with the fans and realize that you've contributed to something really, really good for a lot of people. It was way bigger and more popular of a show than I ever realized it would be. And there's been this like resurgence of it because a lot of the fans, like yourself, have grown up watching it and now they're 20s and 30s or even older and they've been watching it with their kids or some of their other friends or they've gotten their, or they'll go back and watch other, old episodes or whatever. We know with the computer technology that you can grab this stuff off the internet and watch it all over again. And so, yeah, but the cons are great. I mean, I've done anything from a small comic book store to the biggest super. Gosh, in 2000 we did. The four of us went out to San Diego for the big Comic Con in San Diego, and that was ginormous. I mean, there were like Star Wars, Star Trek voice actors, artists, cosplay. I want to say there was somebody from the we had Lou Ferrigno from The Incredible Hulk, and that was my first experience at one of those pop culture conventions. And then after that, I think another really big one I went to and was able to go back to a couple times actually. Let's see, 2002, 2004, 2012, and 2018 was Supernova out in various parts of Australia, Sydney, Perth, Gold Coast. Oh my gosh, Melbourne, Brisbane. And then there was one in New Zealand called Armageddon that I absolutely loved, and I've actually just been invited to appear at 3 of them in New Zealand. They're going to be virtual. I'm already signing the autographs now for the giveaways. I'm just doing 50 at a time because it's a lot of these little mini prints that I'm signing that will be given away at each of those, and that's going to be March, April, and June, I believe. And then in the big Kamehacon 3 that's been rescheduled a couple times due to COVID is gonna happen if all goes well this coming July in Allen, Texas. That's gonna be in mid July. Um, I've got a Cowtown Comic Con June 14th, I believe, in Hearst, which is right here in Hearst, Bedford, which is near the DFW airport. That's gonna be really fun. I'm also going back to a small town in outside of Waco. It's called Robinson. I'm going back the February 28th. We're doing a big pizza party, and that's a big comic. Well, it's kind of a small comic book deal, comic book store. And I just fell in love with everybody that worked there. And we got together at Anime Dallas a few months ago, and we were like, let's get back together, let's do this again. And the news came out. And there was this big thing on the news. The Waco, it was crazy. I mean, it was awesome. And I've been to San Angelo recently. That was a lot of fun. Permian Basin's coming up in Midland again. That's going to be March 14th through the 16th. So there's a lot of things coming up on the calendar. I've got them all on my Facebook page, Stephanie Nadolny, voice actor, Stephanie Nadolny Facebook fan page. I'm so tired. I had a long day. I got up early. Uh, but yeah.
I know the feeling. I had to my daughter's homeschooled, so I have to wake up at 7 o'clock to get her ready.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
When
great.
we have the newborn too, so
Oh, you do? How sweet.
yeah.
I love babies. I love kids. So, yeah, no, I love them all. I mean, the virtual ones are fun. I mean, I embrace them all. I think they're all fantastic. Anything that, allows me to interact with the fans and, there's gonna be something this weekend that's called Con Live, where, fans can go on from all over the world and, buy these, hangout sessions. I've got that coming up this weekend, actually Saturday, starting at 2 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be doing these hangouts with Chris Latosh, who has set up the whole event. And then this Sunday, I'm in Fort Worth, which is right around the corner, not far from here at all. That's going to be at Fanboys Marketplace. They're having me back with my good friend Jose Mega Man, who comes up and he comes out and dresses up and brings the pop toys. And he's also been doing a lot of stuff with me and Linda Young and some of the other voice actors, setting up these signings for where we can sign pops and talk to people on FaceTime and chat with them, and then sign the pop or sign the print, whatever they want me to sign. And then that gets to be part of our interaction. And then they get a copy of the video, and then we mail everything off to them. So there's really, technology thankfully is great right now, where we're able to do like what we're doing right now, where we
Yeah,
can actually interact with each other, and then the fans can jump in and listen and comment or ask questions. So it's the next best thing. It's definitely not as good as in person. It never
for
is.
sure.
But yeah, no, I love the cons. I'd like to do more of them. I'm really excited about hopefully this COVID thing getting under control to where more of these cons can be in person later this year, and hopefully for sure by next year, 2022. So big hopes for that. Crossing my
Yeah.
fingers, saying my prayers. Yeah.
So, have you ever been to Ontario or anywhere in Canada?
I have. I've been to Canada. It was Toronto, and it was 2002, I think. And I was supposed to go with Sonny Strait, but he lost or couldn't get his hands on his passport. So I had to go by myself. This is a long time ago. But I went by myself, and they set me up at a mall. It was like a big shopping mall and in Toronto. And so they just set me up there, and we were doing like a tournament giveaway for like the Dragon Ball Z game. And so we had trading cards, and then I would just sign things, and we would do giveaways, and they gave me a microphone so I could chat with the fans and do the voices and the Kamea wave and all that. And while I was there, I was able to have just enough time to do some sightseeing. So I jumped on a bus and went up to Niagara Falls. And that was amazing. Oh my gosh. It was real touristy, but super awesome. Amazing. I'm so glad I did it. I wish I could have stayed longer, and I would love to come back.
Because was it the Eaton Center?
I believe so. They had a lot of like Ripley's Believe It or Not and a lot of other type touristy stuff going on. And they had this really nice restaurant that overlooked the falls, and they had like all these beautiful lights on the water. And it was a long time ago, but I enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I went out exploring, which is something I love to do when I travel.
They have everything in Toronto. It's amazing what you can find.
Yeah, I know. I want to come back. And then I also, when I was singing with Vince Vance and the Valiants, I started singing with them in July of 1991. I was just out of high school and just had started college. We traveled all over too, and we ended up at a big water fest of some kind up in I remembered it, and then I've slept since then. But it was I think it was Ontario. It was a part of Ontario, and I remember it was so ginormous. We had a stage in the dressing rooms in the back, and then when we walked out on the stage, there were just people everywhere as far as you could see. It was this big festival, and we all got there early and ate a bunch of food and had a bunch of fun. That's back when we had a big giant tour bus, and we had a separate road crew and a four-man road crew and a separate van, or well, actually a big truck, and they would set up and tear down for us when we would go and travel. And what an amazing opportunity that was to be able to follow my dream, sing, dance, and act with two other girls. So it was three of us. Vince Vance and the Valiants featuring the vivacious vixens of rock and roll, Venus, Violet, and Victoria. So we all had V names, and we had costumes, and we'd dance and sing. And I learned a lot about live performance as opposed to studio performance. and really like projecting and singing with a big giant live band behind you, which you have to really listen and make sure you're always on pitch. And I learned a lot about showmanship, stage presence, comedy, improv from watching Vince Vance, who is the only original member. He's about to have his 50th celebration this coming September, actually. So, and he's the only original member, and he's like family to me. He was like, my dad, driving around on a tour bus, traveling for at least it was a decade at first. And then I left and joined some bands around here and then went back on the road for like 3 or 4 more years, then came back off the road, then went back on the road. So it's like it's been a span of almost, I want to say almost 30 years that I've been working on and off with that band. And it was just such an amazing opportunity at such a young age to just to not have any attachments. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I was super young, to really cut your teeth on that and just to break out of your shell and learn about other cultures and other languages and other people and perform and be magical and just put on a show, a visual extraordinaire, video, audio, everything. It was fun. It was a great experience. Wouldn't trade it. Never went back to college. Went back to college. I loved college and I loved school, but I had to follow my dream and my passion. And thank God I've been able to make a living at it and do voice acting and wonder about animals on YouTube and all the things that I'm doing now. I'm just very, very, very grateful and excited about it. So there's a question there.
How did you learn to sing?
Like I said earlier, I listened to any and all music. My favorite was disco. My dad was really into disco. My mom was really into Neil Diamond, and happy 80th birthday, Neil Diamond, by the way, last weekend. Neil Diamond, Barbara Streisand, Barry Manilow, I mean, I could just go on and on. I started singing probably before I could talk. I was singing and humming, and I did anything from choir to music classes. I took piano. So music was just ingrained. I mean, and learning to sing. I mean, I was singing in school. I was singing in preschool. My parents were working. We were singing songs. My brother and I would sing funny songs, and dad would put in the little 8-track and record us when we were super little, and he'd put the little microphones in our hands, and they'd have to pry it out of my hand. My dad would be like, it's time to go to bed, and I would cry and cry. I just wanted to keep singing. And so I learned how to sing by listening to music and singing along and repeating what I heard. And thankfully I had an ear for it. I could hear pitches. And I also grew up in the church, and I was when I was about 11 years old, or 10 and 11, I ended up being transferred from public school to a private school, a Lighthouse Christian Academy in Quemado, Texas, which is close to Eagle Pass, very close to the border of Mexico. And I was able to wear like the uniforms, and I got saved, and I learned about Jesus and God, and the 10 commandments, and just a great way to be raised, and just to treat others as you treat yourself, all that stuff. And then I learned, because every morning we go to chapel. So I'd go to chapel, and then when I would go to chapel, I could hear, and also by taking piano, I could hear the chords, and I could hear the structures of the harmonies. And I was learning and singing harmony before I even knew what harmony was. It was just a natural thing. And when you're singing a hymn, that's what the core structure of harmony is the hymns and all of the alto, the soprano, the tenor, all the parts. And so I was learning all of that long before I even knew what I was doing. And so whenever piano came along, I kind of put it all together, and I was like, ah. And even now I kind of want to go back into piano. I want to sit, because I have this great, awesome keyboard I want to play with and record on. And I haven't learned enough about it to know what it does. But I have a friend, my best friend in the world. He's a bass player. We're in a band together called Moonglass that I put together. And he knows all of this from playing bass and playing in bands since he was super young. And so we've been playing around with this really cool piano, and I'm learning. And if I just sit down and do it, it'll kind of come back to me. But I unfortunately didn't learn how to read music so well. I'd have to like kind of plunk around with it. But I was more by ear, which is good in some ways, and then it's not good when you're trying to learn how to read music. So I would play by ear, because even before I took lessons, I had a piano and I would play along with it. And my brother played the drums. And unfortunately, he sold his drums. I always wanted to be in a band with him, but he sold his drums because he needed the money in college. And that dream never came to fruition. But I learned how to sing just by listening, and by listening and singing back by ear. It just came naturally. Thank
you're
God.
kind of like a prodigy, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't think of myself as anything special per se. I mean, but I mean, I definitely was given that talent. It was a God-given talent for sure, and I'm just glad that I'm able to share it with the world and sing in a voice. I mean, I don't know what I would do without my voice. I mean, my voice is my livelihood. It's everything to me, my voice. I have to protect it. Need to get good sleep, drink lots of water. I don't smoke, you know. So yeah, that's how I learned how to sing. Donna Summer, just mimicking everything she said on her albums and memorizing it and putting on concerts at school on the merry-go-round when I was 5 and 6. And yeah, just learned from listening from my ear.
Okay. If you were Gohan or Goku and you could cross over to any animated series, which one would you go into and why?
Ha! I'd have to stick with what I know and, what I know and what I grew up with as far as animated shows were Looney Tunes and, the Smurfs and, Underdog and Felix the Cat. Oh my gosh, Felix the Cat was when I was super little, but, um, what else? Yeah, all the cartoons from the '70s and '80s. I would wanna jump into one of those maybe. And I was able to kind of I don't know if anybody listening or watching even knows about this show that was featured on Cartoon Network, called OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. The producer of that show that developed it, the director, his name's Ian. He lives in LA, and he was a big fan of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and he actually reached out and somehow found me. I don't know if it's through my agent or what, but he was able to find me, and then his people called me, the casting agent called me and said, "We really like for you to play the role of KO in the show called Lakewood Plaza Turbo," and it ended up being a pilot, and this was back in 2012. And so we put out the pilot, and then it got picked up, and then I was able to voice the first 8 episodes. I was actually able to do that remotely as well as go fly into LA, and, I wanna say 2016, and we were able to record the show there with the other cast members, and that was just crazy. So it's kinda like a Goku morphed character. It's definitely uh, almost the same voice. It was very close to it. It was just a matter of me making it sound different based on the dialogue and the acting behind that. And so OKKO was one that I actually was able to actually physically do that with. But I would probably want to jump into Bugs Bunny or Jackie Duck or, Foghorn Leghorn and Yosemite Sam and all those characters. It'd be fun to jump into those with a little Goku running around in the background. Hey guys, what's going on? I want to play. You guys want to train? Let's get tough. Let's fight. Yeah, that'd be
Well,
fun.
we could train them for the Space Jam.
Yeah, Lord.
So, if you could voice any fictional character, who would you want to voice?
Somebody just that's made up.
Yeah, just anyone.
Mm, See, all I have to go by is what I've seen. Beavis and Butthead and South Park and Robot Chicken and crazy Crank Anchors. Oh my gosh, wow. So fictional. I don't know. I'd have to make something up. I know that I'm actually auditioning for a possible avatar for like this website, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I would like to think that I could come up with a based on their drawing of a character, because I know that that's something I'd be good at. If somebody presented me with a character, here's the character, put a voice on this one. That's what I think I'd be best at. I would be like, oh, he sounds like this, or um based on what they look like, I think I could come up with something, like some of them sound like you got a runny nose, or oh, I don't know, someone like this, or yeah, see, I'd have to be presented with something, I think, and then put a voice to it. I think that's kind of how it all, especially like with East Kai, maybe trying to I would just come up with something, and then and if they liked it, we'd go with that. So yeah.
If you could take Nimbus and travel anywhere on Earth or any planet or wherever, where would you want to go?
Oh, any planet? Oh my god, I'm fascinated with space. Like, I'm over the past few years, I've just been fascinated with like the galaxy and the Milky Way and space being infinite and like trying to wrap my brain around that. Who can comprehend that, right? I mean, all we have is our surrounding. We're like super tiny little. I don't want to say we're nothing because we're definitely something, but um, it would be great to jump on that Nimbus cloud and just go out into space and not have to worry about like oxygen or an atmosphere or the confines of Earth, and just be able to go as far as you can and not, die or float aimlessly and never to be seen again.
We'll just get Dr. Briefs to make you that space outfit.
Right. And to go, I mean, I can't do this, but if I could, it'd be like really cool to like go to like what people think or say, or what goes like where you go when you die. What's the other side like, if you believe in that or not? And then I'd want to go see my loved ones, my kindred spirits, and even just to be in a room or in space with them. And like I said, with my mom and my grandmother and my aunts and uncles that have gone on before me. And, your heritage, your legacy, just to be able to do that, but then come back and then finish your life out, it's completely impossible. Right. But there are people who claim to have gone to the other side, but then come back, or they've almost died, or they've died and then been able to come back. And they have these stories that are really fascinating, that are like, wow, it's like, seems like most everything I hear is like, you're not scared anymore. You don't have hunger. You don't have pain. You don't have any of that, but your spirit, has energy and it moves forward. And I don't know, everybody believes differently and there's religion and all of that, but that'd be fun. But to get on the Nimbus cloud and just go into space and just go as far as you can, go out to the furthest star, and ones that have already, burnt out because they're so far away, they're still shining, just would be mind boggling. So yeah, or even just go up to the moon, fly around, jump around, float around. It'd be cool.
Just make sure you don't have that tail on you.
Oh, I know, the tail will get in the way. Just fly in the wind. Whee! Go up to the space station, say, "What's up?" Fly through the windows. "What's going on in there?" "I'm Goku. See ya. I'm going to Saturn now."
So, what are you currently voicing right now?
Right now, my main thing is setting up these conventions, booking stuff on my calendar for that. And then that comes first. And then I kind of work around that, appearances and things like this, interviews, getting out there. I'm involved with some nonprofit organizations. With what's really cool is I'm able to sign some prints. I have these prints that I carry with me whenever I do my appearances. And here's I don't know where the camera is. There's Super Saiyan Gohan. What do I have here? That's the same. Oh, I'm trying to see.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
There's a GT Goku gets turned back into a little kid, and this one's kind of cool. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to like gauge it by the camera. I'm like all off. But anyway, I've been like working on some nonprofit charity, like signing some of these things and sending them to people that can make money for people that are either struggling, if they've been through illness or their COVID. We did some things for Tiffany Volma when she had COVID, and she's the voice of Volma. I've been involved with some of that. Breast Cancer Can Stick It with April Samuels. She's a breast cancer survivor and she's a drummer, and so we connect with music and on all these levels. And we just did an interview recently, and she needs some things that she's gonna auction off for charity, and so I'm involved with that. And then as far as voicing, I'm one of the 3 narrators for Wonderbot Animals. It can be found on YouTube. WONDERBOT Animals. It's really cool, like 5 to 7 minute videos about animals of all kinds. I love animals. I've had a huge fascination for animals since I was a kid. We always had a dog or horses, and I'm really into elephants and pigs. And I have a rescue dog and 2 Persian cats. And so I like voice these really feel good, family friendly episodes about animals. And it's called Wonderbot Animals. And you guys can click the like button and subscribe if you'd like. You'll know early on which narrator it is, and then our little picture pops up and it's like, "Hi, I'm Stephanie Nadolny with Wonderbot Animals," and it's just kind of a warm, friendly, inviting voice. I have done the voice of Deb the mom for the Adventures of Ryan DeFreitas. That's been put on hiatus due to COVID. We haven't recorded in over a year now. But then I would just voice. It's just basically my voice as a mom, of a teenager. And that's like, now Ryan, you really shouldn't be doing that. That's just kind of a voice. And I do random radio ads for my friend Dan Bradford. He works for Salem Communications, and that's some of the top radio stations that are, some of them are syndicated, and then there's 100.7 FM is the Word FM, and that's a Christian radio station. And I've been invited in to do some random radio commercials, 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And so I've been doing that. And so I've just been juggling that, as well as getting online with some online platforms for voice people looking for voices, whether it be for phone systems, audiobooks, commercials, just random voice stuff. And so I submit proposals on my free time, and then they either answer or they don't. The most recent thing I've done, it was a really young guy, I want to say in Korea, and he put together a COVID. It's so cute. It's little kids, and they're coughing and sneezing, and I just voiced one of the characters that's just, you need to cover your mouth, like a little girl that's talking to her friend, and then they're like, teaching kids by singing this song and like teaching them how to protect themselves and protect their friends and those around them by wearing a mask and social distancing. So it's just a cute little video. And, it wasn't even really about the pay. It was like, just really was like, I have an affinity for voicing children, and I love children. So I jumped on that opportunity, and fortunately they liked what they heard and they put it together, and maybe it'll lead to some other stuff. If anything, it puts a really feel good thing out for kids. That's, current. It's like going on right now, and it's like, cover your mouth, wear your mask, just cute little stuff like that. So I'm kind of doing that, and I'm just juggling virtual and live appearances and interviews like this. It's been great. Things are kind of starting to pop back up. Last year was really rough for a lot of people in a lot of industries. My band couldn't perform. We had to cancel a lot of shows. Hopefully that'll come back soon. Definitely miss singing with my guys. I've got some of the best musicians in the state. They are so amazing. And we have a band called Moonglass, and we are on Facebook, Moonglass Band. And then the only other thing I think we left out was we were a band, I say Moonglass, before that was a 6-piece, and we played at the WinStar Casino for the senior breakfast for 4 years, from 2010 to 2014. And so we would play for people coming in. Anybody over 50, 55 would come in and gamble and have free breakfast and dance and line dance to our music. And that was really interesting because it was in the morning. It was a morning show, comedic show. We performed for 2 hours. We did anything from oldies, R&B, soul, jazz, and we would play requests and wish people happy birthdays. And we would dress up and alike and make sure we all had color coded, the guys would wear matching ties. And that's where my Vince Vance background came in, where we would do the costumes and make it a beautiful visual, as well as what they were hearing. They could, everything was all uniform, and it was a show. It was a lot of fun. It became a really big deal. And then the promotion ended, and we were so sad, but we made a lot of friends out of that. And we were able to build this crazy, insane repertoire that I was able to offshoot from and use the same musicians from my own personal band. So hopefully that'll come back, and I can start booking some work at restaurants, parties, clubs, weddings, festivals. That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Ready to take on another project. Hopefully some auditions will come out, and jump into another featured cartoon, anime of some kind. We'll see. I'm up for it.
Great. And we have you coming to Ottawa VCon.
Yes. March 28th. Is that right?
Yeah, March 28th. Yeah.
Got it. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I created this because we make our money at conventions too. So I started up this business where I would set up games at these conventions, and I'd have kids that play. They'd come play, and then they'd purchase one of my collectibles.
That's great. Let me know how I can help.
That's how we made money. And then we started connecting with all the other vendors, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger from there. And then we're like, okay, we're going to open. And then all this happened. And then I met a bunch of voice actors through the convention. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're gonna open, we're gonna have all these people show up, and it's gonna be big. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't have them. And then I learned about this platform. It simulates a convention, so it'll have like little tables, so people can
Okay.
move around to different tables. And then it
Oh,
has
that's
like,
so cool. That's great. I know what you mean when you say that things kind of start here and then they grow and then they multiply. I have this whole group of local artists, cosplay. They're all Facebook friends of mine, and some of them are local, and some are in different parts of Texas. But they're my buds now. They're like my cronies or chromies or homies or whatever you call them. They're
yeah,
my buds, and we've been doing a lot of appearances together. And I'll find that if they are invited to something, they might invite me, or say like when I go to Waco, we decided to invite John Swayze, and we've done some appearances together. He's a awesome voice actor, and he actually put together Anime Dallas, and then he invited me to that. And then his daughter's a voice actress, and so we all just get to hang out. We might be in the green room having lunch. We start chatting it up and getting to be buds. And next thing you know, we're on social media together, and we help promote each other's events. And then sometimes we see each other again at the next event, or I'll see you there. And I've made a whole not just voice actors. It's not just people in my particular field, but like really amazing artists that can draw, and they put their artwork on prints, t-shirts, caps. They make their own art. One of my friends, Lisa, she's also a singer. She puts together, she makes these like coasters and little keychains, and some of them make jewelry, and some of them just draw stuff for you right then and there, or they'll draw your favorite character and then they'll sign it. And so I'm just really like just making friends everywhere, and that have all this insane talent, like doing all these different artistic creative things. It's really been exciting and fun. I've really embraced it a lot. So, and I'm always up for meeting new people regardless of what they do. I love people. Yeah, I don't know a stranger really. So I'm
well,
excited for your event. I hope it works out great. I hope you get a big giant attendance. I'll definitely help promote it on my social media and get it out there. I'm hoping to get on TikTok soon, and Clubhouse, and some other ones that I know nothing about. I will have to learn. I am on
I'm the
Instagram
same thing
now, so
everyone taught me. I'm like, it's a learning experience.
yeah, you just have to take the time to learn it. It's just you got to take the steps to learn it, and it's just different for everybody. So, but looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, once everything's over, we would love to have you up here. We have at least
Yes.
5 different conventions in Ottawa.
Oh, I would absolutely love to come. I'd want to stay longer. I'd want to come early and stay late, so I could like see the sights and roam around, and
Oh
it'd be
yeah,
a
the
blast.
sites are just amazing. Like we have a really nice community going on, and everyone supports each other. I know when our local comic book shop wasn't doing well, I have a comic book group, and everyone pitched in, like all their competitors.
Oh, that's great. Comic books. Oh, well, it makes me think about when I was little. I would grow up. We had comic books. I remember reading Richie Rich and Archie comics. I was into comic books for a while, and then I got into books, and then I was a bookworm for a couple years, and then I got into journaling, and then I would write everything down for years and years. I have these just stacks of journals from like age 12 to like 16, 17. They're in my garage somewhere. I never threw them out, of course. I mean, I would write everything down, everything. What I wore to school, who I talked to, who I had a crush on. It's all there. So maybe I'll write a book someday.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
I'll put
So
it
it's
there.
Ottawa VCon. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been writing my whole life, so I've been doing a little bit of both. Like I've been reading. Like my uncle when we were younger, he was like, reading's like food for your brain. So I just like everything I could read, I would just find it and read it.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps you with other things too. Like people sometimes ask, well, what's the difference between the two? Well, the music and the rhythm and learning the fundamental things behind music helped me with my voice acting when it came to like time to like voice and like match the mouth flaps, especially being that we were doing an English dub of a Japanese cartoon. So the music actually helped me not only with stamina and vocals and being able to scream for like ever and not lose my voice, was the singing, because I was singing in bands on the weekends and then recording during the week. And then the voice acting helped my music, and I was able to learn how to change my voice and be able to incorporate that through my singing. When I was working in the High Rollers, we were doing cover songs. So I was able to mimic and give my version of, say, an Aretha Franklin song, or Olivia Newton-John, or whatever artist, Dolly Parton. And I was able to change my voice and try to sound like the original artist. So they've kind of been like, they've gone hand in hand. They've helped each me with both. And I see here, Zach Fontaine wants to know if I can do Beavis and Butthead. Do the voices of Beavis. Oh, shut up, Beavis. This sucks. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. There you go. There's some Beavis and Butthead for you. And Bobby from King of the Hill. But Dad, all this time I thought it was an extra large, but I'm actually a medium at the fat kid store. There's one for you. And Marge Simpson, I haven't done her in a while. I don't think that's such a good idea, Homer. There's my Marge Simpson.
Yeah, my daughter's just getting into The Simpsons.
Oh, it's so fun. Boy, that'd be fun to do. Oh, you know, the voice of Bart Simpson is a female. So it's not that uncommon for a female to voice young boys. I'm living proof. Yeah.
Speaking of The Simpsons, which Simpson character would you like to voice?
Oh, they're all so awesome. Yeah, Bart. Yeah, I guess Bart Simpson. Marge is fun. His kid sister. They'd all be fun to voice. It'd be fun to voice a character that came on that was completely a different character that I could voice that was completely unique. So I don't even know if they're still on the air, or if they're still doing new ones or not. I haven't been keeping up with television so much lately. Been kind of busy.
I think they're on Disney Plus now. They
Oh, Disney. See, that would be great. As a musical singer, like as one who musical theater person, grown up with music and drama and acting and singing and dancing and all of that, I would love to voice a Disney movie. I would love to be the voice and the singing voice of a character for a Disney movie or a Pixar film. I would love that so much, to be able to sing and voice the character, because sometimes they'll pick different people for both. They'll have somebody voice and then they'll have somebody sing. That's not the same person.
Come on, Disney, get on that.
Oh, I know. I don't know how to reach. I don't know who to. There's just no rule book. It's like, and you don't know who. I don't know who to contact. I'd have to. It's probably really hard to get into Disney. Really hard to get a recommendation to even. I mean, can you imagine how many people are sending in auditions for Disney? And then now a lot of the companies that are hiring already existing actors and actresses to voice characters. I'm seeing a lot of that. So, and they're good, but there's other voice actors out there that are also good that would love a shot at something like that. For sure.
I'd pay to see that movie.
Oh, I would love to do that. I'm not going to, hey, the sky's the limit. I'm not going to limit myself here. It's the times now, we're here, but for a vapor, and then boom, we're gone. So you gotta take this life and get what you can from it and give back what you can to the world and make the best of your life and be a good person, be kind, quit fighting this division in the world. Has just been crazy. I'd like to see that get fixed.
Oh, we could always use a second wish for that.
Oh, I know. That's why I said world peace, right? That was my first. Let's all just get along and be kind to each other and love each other and accept each other for our differences. Agree to disagree,
Yeah, if only. When I left for college, my grandmother had a bunch of people in their house, and I made friends with people from everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
Absolutely.
like we were just talking, and my buddy was telling me about the god with the elephant head.
Uh-huh.
So his the god didn't know that he had a son. So when he the mother told the son to stand guard while she's showering, and then the father came up, saw the son, chopped his head off, and then the mother was like, that's our son. So they tried to find a replacement head, and it was the elephant that gave its head up.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's really out there. Elephants, though. Love elephants. I got my elephant right here. This is my baby elephant. I have elephant socks. I'm into socks. That's my thing right now. I'm into
That was
socks, crazy
my
socks.
daughter's first doll was a stuffed little elephant that we used to measure how big she was getting.
Aw, how cute.
She likes giraffes. We went to the zoo once, and
Uh-huh.
every time she sees a giraffe, she's like, "Oh, that's Bonnie, the giraffe."
How cute.
She's
Yeah.
like, "What does Bonnie do every time she sticks her tongue out?" She's like, "That's Bonnie."
That's adorable. You should play some Wonder Body animals for her. They're so cute. The stories are so, so sweet, and they're not real long, so if she gets distracted, they're just really short, feel good. A lot of them are about mostly cats and dogs, but they've done anything from whales to elephants and rhinos and gorillas, and it's really fun. You should definitely check that out and sit down with her and watch some. They're really, really, really cute.
Yeah, send me the links, and I'll make sure to post everything too.
I sure will. And like I said, when you go to the website, you can just go from story to story, click next, 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 subscribe, hit the like button, and there's two other narrators. There's a male narrator and another female. So you'll know within the first few seconds of which one is narrating, and you can just go from one to the next. But yeah, I'll send all of that to you. You can put that out there. There's another question here.
Let's pop that up.
There it is. Yeah, you worked on some other anime back in the day. Lupin the Third, Parasite Dolls, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Gravion's Way. What was it like working on those? Okay, those shows, at least all but one, were recorded down in Houston at ADV Films, which is no longer now. I want to say I know there's also a studio in Austin. Um, but when I was working on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, I was able to meet some of the other voice actors who worked at ADV in Houston at some of the conventions all over the United States, mostly Texas conventions. And I got to be friends with them and one of the directors there. And we talked and chatted. And at some point in time, we agreed that, like, hey, come on down and audition for some of these roles. And the first one I think I was cast in down in Houston was Eve in Parasite Dolls. And that was, I think she was only really in one episode or maybe, but she was a prominent role in that particular one. And I got to work with Matt Greenfield, and that was a great experience. And then from there, I also worked in a show called Moby Dick as a little kid. I think his name was Ari. And he was kind of a rough little punk kid who's always getting in trouble, kind of a voice like this, you know. Um, and that was kind of fun to do another little kid voice that didn't sound like the others. It may sound similar, but then I also did Faye and Gravion's Way. And I'm telling you, that was so long ago, and I've never seen the show. I would have to go back and try to track down some of the episodes with Gravion because it was so long ago. I mean, like almost 20 years ago. And that was awesome too. And then I was some background voices in Hello Kitty. And then in as he said, Yu Yu Hakusho was the voice of I did the theme Sayonara Bye Bye. Sayonara Bye Bye. Please take care of yourself. It's a really sweet song. And then I was the tournament announcer up in the, I don't even know if she had a name, but you didn't even really see her face, but I voiced that in Yu Yu Hakusho. And then Lupin, I did some background vocals as well as in Kitty Grade and Fruits Basket. So those were very small roles that would be really hard to track down. Some of the fans somehow can retrieve this information and can find it, but I haven't been very successful in finding some of these episodes online. I know that if I got the DVDs, we could probably find them somehow. But It was fun. I mean, it's always a unique experience to get cast as a different character and at a completely different studio. I just jump in the car and take a road trip by myself and record, go rent a hotel room, spend the night, and then record the next day and drive home. That's kinda what I did. I was pretty independent at a young age, losing my mom so young. I kinda had to just take life by the reins and go. That's what I did. Have we covered most of the questions here?
I think so.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
The guy that
Well,
asked me how to sing says he's tone deaf. I know there's a lot of people that say they would love to be able to sing because they love to sing. I'm like, "Just sing anyway. Sing in your car, sing in the shower. If you like it, do it."
I make the joke that people would pay me not to sing.
Yeah, I know, I've tried, like, because I love jokes, and sometimes I'm good at it, and sometimes I fail miserably, so I just always say the joke, I shouldn't quit my day job, and that was a funny joke from whenever we were performing at the WinStar, because it was, morning day it was a day job. So it's like I always whenever my jokes wouldn't really necessarily go over, just be like, "I'm not gonna quit this day job. I think I need to stick to singing at the senior breakfast." But I still have fun trying.
Okay. I got a Dragon Ball joke for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. How many sands does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh my gosh. That could go anywhere. It could be like from the other world, from when they die, they go to the other world. T a bunch of
What?
them. What?
One, but it'll take 5 episodes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Ugh, 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 ugh. Who's gonna screw in the light bulb? And when is he gonna do it? Oh my gosh. He's got the light bulb in his hand. Ah! For 5 episodes.
So what kind of advice would you give someone that wanted to get into either voicing or singing?
I would practice and learn all about your craft, learn all about the business as much as you can, dive into recording yourself, listening back, fine-tuning what you're best at. Getting a demo together would be advisable of a short demo, which are so easy to do. You can do them from your home or a friend that might have the material or the software and the computer equipment, microphone to do so. It's getting easier and easier. I mean, than ever before. When people, cut entire albums out of people's home studios all the time. Um, and as for me personally, I mean, I thankfully I like to do it. So and I knew in my heart of hearts that I wanted to be in show business. I wanted to entertain and I wanted to sing, and then the voice acting kinda came later, but I definitely wanted to utilize my voice. So what I did is I did anything and everything I could get involved in, anything from talent shows to choir, um, growing up, drama, community theater, drill team, pom pom squad. Um, I took drama classes in school, high school. I majored in drama in college. I was constantly performing. I took piano. I was doing piano recitals. I was going to state to perform these piano pieces. I was involved in all district choir, all state choir. I was learning Italian arias. I was learning how to sing opera, competing in singing competitions, even in early college. So I would say just get involved in if it's music, try to learn a musical instrument. Um, Learning how to accompany yourself would be amazing. I wish I would've stuck with my piano because I could be gigging all the time by myself, playing my piano, singing my songs, writing my own songs, doing my own music, cutting my own albums. I mean, you know, being able to accompany yourself is big, and I mean, anything, guitar, piano, a tonal instrument would be good, anything really, but just anything and everything that excites you, you learn from every experience, especially things like that. You learn in this industry, you learn how to overcome stage fright. I had crazy stage fright when I was young. I was very young, but and for me to get over that was really hard. Being the new girl and moving around made it hard for me because my self-esteem was affected. Therefore, I was like scared that people weren't going to accept my voice. They were not think it sounds good. So I was constantly beating myself up about that. So getting out there and performing and getting auditioning for a play and then performing your role in the play, all of that is such good experience. Being on stage, performing in front of people, depending on what it is you want to do. And as far as voice acting, I started out doing it for fun. I was doing, radio shows, making up different character voices with my friend Jody when we were 12. And we would have cassette tapes and we would record each other and we would interview each other and we would switch roles. And I was constantly making up new characters. And this was just for fun, but I was actually learning the ins and outs of my voice and producing different sounds as a child and growing up. And then, prank calling my friends. And I would put like funny, back when we had, answering machines, way before cell phones. We didn't have cell phones back then. And I would have fun with this with my answering machine, and I had a keyboard, and I would play music in the background, and I would make up these voices. I'm not here. I'm at the Bahamas, and there'd be all this like tropical music playing in the background, strawberry daiquiris and mai tais, and I just make up all these voices and sing songs, and I would just do it for fun. And then it seems like every week I would have a different answering machine message song, and my friends and family would call my dorm room and just be like, "You're crazy. You're insane. That is so crazy what change that." Right. I remember my mom called me once and it was just a really silly one. And she was like, "Stephanie," she said, "you banana. What if the dean called you? What if your professor called you and heard that? You need to change it." But I just would have fun with it. So, I was learning how to do all of the stuff I'm doing now long, long, long ago. So I would just say, jump into it, learn, listen to your voice, watch others, record yourself. Like I said, listen back, fine tune, whatever it is you're best at. Like some people are really, really good at just radio or their natural voice. And some are really good with character voices. Well, slap it all on a demo. Don't even worry about what you're saying or what you're reading. It can be anything, Yeah, there's tons of stuff on the internet you can download and then put together a demo and have somebody really make it sound good and make it short and sweet and focus on what you're best at and then get it out there. Go either seek an agent, submit, make the phone calls, pound the pavement, ask around, how can I audition for this? How can I audition for that? Ask people like me or people in the industry how they did it, how they're doing it, how it's just and it might come down to sometimes honestly just who there's a lot of talent out there, a lot of talent all over the world. And and even you go to LA or you go to New York, Chicago, wherever, you don't always necessarily have to go there anymore. I know whenever I was pursuing country music, I went to Nashville, and a lot of it was like you need to move there. They didn't really want to have anything to do with you unless you lived there, and you had to pay your dues, and you had to like live in Nashville and starve for a while and write some songs. And yeah, I mean, it's just different for everybody. It's different for and times are changing, so there's all kinds of ways to like dive into the industry. Just get as much experience as you can and listen and watch others who are doing it and be patient. You're going to get a lot of rejection. It's just going to happen. Nobody just has the overnight success, and nobody does it all by themselves either. So I would definitely say, take some workshops, get online, and there's stuff on YouTube. I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get experience, and develop your voice and your chops. And that's my best advice. I wish you all the best of luck in your careers and your endeavors, and find what you do best and get good at it. Practice and stay humble. Don't get a big head. Don't be all conceited. That's no fun. That's no good. That's ugly. No one's better than anyone else. We're all equal.
Well, I know my grandmother told me, she says when the angels look down on us, all they see is rags.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're all the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all human beings. We're just here. We're a spirit in a human suit for a very short time. You got to make the best of it. and just make the best decisions you can and stay, educate yourself. Get out there, go to college, take classes. There's tons of classes for voice acting, all more than ever. Um, whether the I mean, most of them are taught by experienced actors, experienced voice actors, and, why not, you know, get out there and get all the experience you can and all of the advice you can, and then go out there and follow your dreams. Don't be afraid to work some side jobs that, to pay the bills. I've done that many times in between, feast or famine sometimes with me. But I've worked some jobs. I was a sales rep for a while. I did some marketing brand ambassador work. I've given out samples at grocery stores. I mean, I've done all kinds of stuff. Don't feel like you can't work some jobs that aren't your favorite. You learn about people doing those too. You learn in everything you do. So don't be afraid of that. You'll get there. We can't all be rich and famous. And, the older I get, the less I want to be rich and famous. I mean, that's not you can't take any of that with you. When you're gone, you're gone. You want to leave a good legacy. You want to do good things. You want to help others, be a kind person, be a good person, and inspire people, encourage people, and don't put people down. Don't compete. There's no need for that. There's lots of room out there for success for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. We just got to work together. Like I say, we're all like we're all parts of a puzzle or like the gears.
Yep,
We all need each other for something.
we do. And I didn't get there by myself. I mean, I'd like to think that I could, I thought, but no, I had people helping me. I had to reach out and be humble and ask, how to do this and how to do that and learn and jump in there and just do it and learn my on my own. And having moved around all the time, I wasn't necessarily afraid of that, especially after I got to be older. Once I was over 18, over 21 and I was an adult, I was able to really tackle stuff like that and not be scared and not be nervous and watch. I watched and listened a lot, and that's how I learned. And then whenever I was working my sales jobs in between singing on weekends or whatever with bands, and I learned from the person that trained me, the sales rep for the company that trained me to be a sales rep. I learned from them and drove around in a van and did my cold calls and did my spiel and left my information, called me back, followed up, customer service. I learned about all of that too. And that's all just from working different jobs. I was a server, I was a waitress for a while, I was a bartender for a while. I've done a little bit of everything.
Being a bartender, what's your favorite drink to make? Did you have one or is it just
Oh, the foo-foo drinks are fun, like the strawberry daiquiris, margaritas, the frozen drinks are fun to make them all pretty, with, like, the fruit and the using the right glassware and presentation. I learned all about that when I worked at restaurants, the presentation and delivering this beautiful beverage, and this perfect little umbrella or the perfect fruit to, garnish. Yeah, I learned about, I don't know, different kinds of wines, region I went to Napa Valley and learned about that, and, um, yeah, I mean, it's all just little like you said, little puzzle pieces of your life, and then we just kind of we're like puzzle pieces of this big giant universe, and it's like, I really feel like it's our responsibility to just take what we've got and do the best we can with it, and just really, like, help our fellow man, and there are really a lot of people that need our help. There are people that can't pay their bills, that have kids that they're hungry. Look at what's going on in other third world countries that they don't have opportunities that some other countries have, and I just think it's good if we can help other people, and I know people helped me, and I remember who they were, and I wanna do the same for other people because that's what we're here for. I really believe that.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate. My wife is just amazing. What she does is every Christmas, she'll buy like a turkey and all the stuff, and she'll give it to like a family. And what I do
Oh, that's
is I find
wonderful.
toys or games and stuff, and I put it in the toy drive.
That's awesome. That's so good. Doesn't that make you feel good? There's no price tag on that. It's just rewards your whole heart's just overflowing because you've helped. There's a neighborhood pantry here where I live where you can literally just drop things off and people just come and get what they want and leave what they don't need. It's great. It's just awesome. And then I've been donating a lot of my clothes to I have a big heart for families or broken families that either domestic disputes, domestic violence. I love Friends of the Family in Denton, Texas. I donate clothes to them because I just think about broken families and having to like leave a volatile situation, and then these women might have kids and they don't have any money and they don't have the skills or they don't have a job and they need to have nice pretty things, and then so they can go out and work and feel pretty and go out there and get a job or and make money to take care of their families and start over and maybe move somewhere and start fresh. And I've got a big heart for that. And that in bullying, I did a bullying campaign, anti-bullying campaign for a while, where I went and toured schools and talked to the kids about bullying and how it's just not it's not nice, obviously, put it simply, and that it'll rot your heart. When you get older, you'll really feel bad about how you treated people, even when you were young and you didn't really kind of know any better, and just to really embrace kindness and acceptance. We're all different, and it's hard, you're young like that. You're immature. You haven't learned a whole lot yet. You're not an adult yet. You haven't been through as many experiences. And so I'm big on that. And cancer, obviously lost my mom to cancer. And then when I talked to April with breast cancer, can stick it, big heart for that. My best friend Dan went through lymphoma. Thankfully caught it early, and he's fine now. But I mean, man, that's just what strong people it takes to fight illness. And I mean, you can't do anything about it. All you can do is fight it and just try to get the best care you can and fight through it. So, yeah, if I can raise awareness or raise funds to help these things that I'm passionate about, I try to definitely make time for that.
That's amazing, giving back. Like, you
Yeah,
don't see
you
that.
gotta do it. It's just the best feeling ever.
So,
Mhm.
I have another question. How much time do you have? A lot of time? Can we keep going? Or
We can go for a little bit longer for sure, yeah.
okay.
Sure.
If you had Trunks's time machine, which area in history would you want to visit?
These are funny questions. You mean as myself or as Kid Goku or Gohan?
Either one, your choice.
Well, it'd be fun to go to the future to kinda see kinda what's gonna happen or what things are like with like I said, with, like, space and technology and, like, what are the roads gonna be like? What are planes and what's the world gonna look like in 50 years, 10 years even? But but the part of me that's been ripped from school to school and town to town all my life would wanna go to the past. I'd wanna go back and see all my friends at all my different schools and go back and graduate with my friends, and instead of being the new girl all the time, I'd wanna go back and see them again you know, and I don't know. With the information I know now and then to go back in the past would be fun. Kinda relive some stuff. Be young again, go back
Yeah,
to school, back to high school. It's so much fun. I loved
uh,
school. I loved
yeah.
I loved the social part of it. And that's why I feel so bad for people now, the kids and having to homeschool, and the social part of it was a big, big part of me of who I am, and being around people is just my favorite thing to do. And that's why I say I love the cons, the in-person cons are my favorite. But yeah, I'd
I
love to
miss
go back and
it
see my
so
bud.
much.
Yeah, especially like young childhood, like 8, 9 through high school. I'd love to go back and relive that again. But I can do that now. Social media allows me to get back in touch with my friends. So Um, it's best to live in the present, embrace
Yeah.
everything that's going on right now, because boom, it's gone. You gotta live in the moment. Definitely getting a lot better at doing that and cherishing each moment and being thankful for having another day, another shot at it, another day at life we aren't promised tomorrow, you know? So it's best to stay right where we're at right now because we're right where we're supposed to be. I believe that.
How many figures of your characters do you have of Goku or Gohan or any other?
I haven't counted. I don't really have a whole lot of those. I have a lot of what I have a lot of is, besides prints that I try to regularly order and have on hand for conventions and for signings through the mail and things like that. I have a few that fans have given me. Ooh, I dropped him. Poor Goku. Ow, that hurt. This is Goku. And then I have a couple of pop toys. And there's like some new ones coming out. There's gonna be a Gohan with eating noodles. I'm excited to see that one. I don't have that one yet. And then there's a Gohan. It might be Teen Gohan though, with where he's got the Kamea Blast. That one's coming out. There's a new Cell coming out. I don't have a space. I don't have like a display cabinet or shelving unit right now where I can display stuff like that. So a lot of it is kind of just sitting around or it's in boxes. And then I have like DVDs from like Dragon Ball GT, and then I have some VHS tapes from Dragon Ball way back, some Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. I have some of those too. And those are kind of boxed up, but I'd like to put those out on a shelf. But right now I'm in the decluttering mode where I'm trying to like clean stuff out to possibly sell my house and move. I'm not sure yet, but I definitely want to display all that. I've got some things framed. I want to put on the wall, some signed posters and things. Definitely want to get all that set up, have an office and a studio. And that's my next big project. So once that's done, then I'll know how many of what I've got.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite book, or is there one that you tend to read a lot?
Books. Well, I was a bookworm when I was younger, and but that was like, teen romance stuff, and that was when I was much younger. Right now I'm going to be starting to read some Sylvia Browne books. She's a I don't know what to exactly call her. I'm still researching her, but she's supposedly been to the other side, like, and she's like communicated with her spirit guide. And so I'm really into that, like kind of books like that. And Middle Eastern religion, Buddhism, um, really like the concept of Buddhism and compassion and living in the moment and Zen and things like that. And spiritual I'm really into spiritual stuff. And I don't know, just stuff, but living your best life. And I'm kind of into like I don't necessarily have a subscription right now because I've been so busy, but I like to read the newspaper. It's kind of like nerdy, but I like to read the comics, and it's like entertaining to me. I read the horoscopes for fun and stuff like that. But I haven't really been, and I read a lot of devotionals. I read a lot of inspirational. One of my favorites is called Jesus Calling. It's seriously, whether or not you believe in Jesus or God or whatever your religion, it's such a great way to start your day, and to just be thankful for what you've got, and just to get your mind straight so you can focus on your day and making good decisions. So I swear I have literally like 7 or 8 different devotionals. I try to read them all every day, but sometimes I don't get to all of them. But some of them are just little prayer books. There's one called Forgiving and Moving On. Letting go of the past has been hard for me because I'd moved so much, and I just want to like have these attachments to my past. So that one's another one I read. And then I've got a journal I'm starting to write in, which is great for anybody and everybody to get your feelings out, get your thoughts out. I write my dreams down sometimes. I have some of these really and crazy, fascinating dreams. So I have a dream journal, which is really, really cool. Because you forget your dreams sometimes. Sometimes within moments of waking up, you don't always remember your dreams. But the really cool ones that I think have meaning, I like to write them down. So, but yeah, and then I've got a ton of books back here that I haven't even touched. Like I've got to make time to read more. It's like so good. I mean, so good for you to read and just wind down for the night. Just take your day and just get involved in a good book. And I think it helps you sleep better sometimes too, especially if it's not like a scary book, or like I don't like scary, crazy, gory horror films. Like I don't want to put that in my head because then I'll dream about it. I have nightmares, and I don't want to go there. It's just ugh. I had insomnia for years, like really horrible bad insomnia, and like I don't want to put that in my brain because then that's the stuff that will be like cycling through my brain when I'm trying to sleep, and it's just no bueno. So yeah.
If you could hang out with any character from Dragon Ball Z, who would it be?
Any character from Dragon Ball Z. Well, I mean, it'd be fun to hang out with Kid Goku, watch him grow and train and all the tournaments. That'd be fun. I also would who else? Bulma. Tiffany Vollmer voices Bulma, and she's a buddy of mine. I'd like to hang out with Bulma. She's a lot of fun. some of the other characters, like I'm trying not to get confused because Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are different, but Master Roshi's funny. Anybody that's just funny. I kind of lean more towards Dragon Ball characters because I like all the comedic stuff. Like to laugh. So that's probably it. Because Dragon Ball Z can be I mean, it's pretty intense. I mean, it's a lot of fighting. It's a lot. It can be a little bit too serious sometimes. So I probably wouldn't want to hang out into too serious, like crazy fighting for too long. Is there any questions that are coming up here?
I don't think
Oh,
I
not
see.
really. There's not really many. Just a little bit of tagging, I think, going on here. So yeah. And
Yeah, I think
we need to remind people about your event you've got coming up on March 28th.
oh
And
yes,
we'll post all the links up because we've got other guests and other people where you said we can.
Yeah, we got Vic Mignogna coming. We got Chuck Huber coming.
Yeah, I know those guys.
We got a lot of
recently, actually.
We got some independent comic book artists coming. We got a lot of locals. We actually got one of her.
Oh, I see.
Broly? Yeah, she does tile arts, and she has
Oh, it's a tile. I see that. That's really cool.
She has a little girl that's about my daughter's age, and when we went to the convention, they play together.
Well, that's great. Yeah, we need to get. I'd love to see if she could do a Kid Goku. That's really cool. Or a Super Saiyan Gohan.
Yeah, I could ask her. She's really good.
Yeah, please do that.
And we will also have. I don't know if you've ever seen these guys.
Oh yeah. That's really cool. I have somebody that made me one of those of a Kid Goku, real cute. It's a similar art. I know another artist who uses that as a basis for her artwork that she makes. Well, she makes buttons, little buttons of all the characters, little baby Yodas and stuff, and then she also makes coasters. She's really talented. I'll be appearing with her soon too. She's great. She's local to me. She's lives 30 minutes from me. So yeah, that's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's really neat. Like I got introduced to this because I do networking events with the group, and I did a networking event, met some new people. I'm like, this could be a Comic-Con thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on board right away when you were talking about it. It's really exciting. So anything we can do for the fans, get some FaceTime with some of the fans, and it's great. Oh, and I wanted to also do a shout out. I've got a fan mail. It's super easy. If anyone wants to ask me a question or get an autograph through the mail, I can send them pictures of the prints that I have here. I've also got some decorative masks that my friend Paulina made in LA. She's a huge fan. She's got a whole family of Dragon Ball Z fans. They dress up like they do a lot of cosplay. They're great. Some masks that are like original, like nobody has them. She makes them from scratch, and she's got like this really cool material that she's put together with a lot of my characters as well as other very colorful interactive Dragon Ball Z characters, and she's made these masks for me, and I'm sold out, and she's making me more, and I'm so excited about that. And there's some that are going to go to charity for fundraisers, but there's other ones that I'm going to bring with me to my conventions, and I've also got those available that can be signed like in silver or black, and then I can sign those through the mail. And my fan club email is stephaniefanmail@gmail.com. Super easy. stephaniefanmail@gmail.com. stephaniefanmail@gmail.com is my fan club email. And I also answer questions. Whatever the questions are, if they want to talk about the show or voice acting or singing or whatever the industry. Some people just want to jump on there and talk about how they watched the show growing up, and questions like you're asking, what's your favorite character to voice? What's your stuff like that. So So yeah, if anyone wants to reach out to me, and then I'm also on Facebook at Stephanie Nadolny Fan Mail, Stephanie Nadolny voice actress, and then I'm on Instagram at Stephanie Nadolny, and then I'm going to be getting onto some of the newer social network platforms as soon as I can sit down and get to know how to do them. So I got to learn. I got to sit down and slow down and focus on it, and I'll be on for that. So
They
yeah.
need to find one. I've been working on it, but it doesn't seem to work all the time. It's you post it once and then it'll post it on everything.
Oh wow, I don't know how to do that yet. That'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be
I was
great.
starting to do it, but it didn't work for me. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, I could get all my posts like pre-dated till like next
Oh
month
yeah,
all lined up.
cross social media kind of thing. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool. Save you a lot of time. Be real efficient. So yeah.
Well, you guys can find me at 8Shinobi on Twitter. I'm 8-Bit Shinobi on Facebook. Check out my YouTube channel, 8-Bit Shinobi. I do gameplays. I do how to make cocktails. And I recently did a how to make your own eggnog.
Oh wow, I love eggnog.
Yeah, I'll send you the video. I made it from completely from scratch.
Oh my gosh, so fattening, so delicious. I love it.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Well, it's
Oh,
once a year, so
oh yeah, yeah. Holidays for sure. But
yeah, my
I
wife
love
told me.
anything half and half cream. I drink my coffee with cream and sugar. I gotta have my creamy cream, the ice cream. I've got to. Oh, moderation is key.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about that.
my wife told me I had to cook, so I'm like, okay, I want to make sushi. She's like, that's the hardest thing to make. I'm like, I
Ooh.
want to be challenged.
Right. It does. It stimulates your mind. We've been cooking a lot, especially with the pandemic. I mean, like I've been buying all this really cool, these different kinds of meats and fishes, and we're making sauces, and we've got all these seasonings, and it's been really fun. I've really been getting. I wasn't really the greatest cook anyway. My mom was amazing. My mom, my grandma, all of that Southern cooking, Tennessee Southern cooking, and I mean, I knew how to make the basic stuff, but I've learned like all kinds of like intricate recipes, and I'm trying to like bring back some of the stuff my mom made because it reminds me of her, like casseroles and stuff. And I need to get a crock pot. I want to learn how to cook in a crock pot. That's supposed to be pretty easy. So, and it's great cooking all your different meals at home, and you can have as much as you want and do it your own way. You
Yeah,
don't have to go to a restaurant and subject yourself to all the COVID social distancing. I mean, I still like to go out to restaurants. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a treat. But learning how to make stuff at home has been really, 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 really fun. So yeah.
well, thanks so much for coming on. This is kind of like a kid
We're just
dream
hanging
of
out.
mine.
Oh, is it? Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I
no
love this. This
problem.
is
We
great.
definitely love to have you back on, and once
Okay.
things open up, we would love to have you up here.
I'd
I know a
love
lot
to
of
come up there. Let's make it happen.
yeah. It's not like we're the capital, but we're like a really small city,
Mhm.
so it's very interesting. It's not very big, but we
Yeah.
got a lot of unique stuff here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna come up there. I got my passport. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's make it happen. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get back and out and travel as soon as it's safe to do so. I mean, I've still traveled a little, but really it's been very, very minimal. I mean, for obvious reasons, but yeah, let me know. Let's rock this thing on March 28th, and we'll do a blast. We'll just blast everybody, remind everybody when it's coming up, and make it happen. Let me know how I can help. I'll definitely we
Okay,
get some online banners, and put it out there. Get it out there so the fans can enjoy.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks so much again so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
No problem.
Love my fans. You guys are
Yeah.
great. Can't wait to see and meet all of you. Every single one of you. All right, awesome. So
Bye.
I hope everybody gets to watch this if they want to see it. So we'll hopefully get that put up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll make sure to send you the link and everything.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Kamehameha! Yeah. See you later.
See ya. Bye.